Welcome to another edition of Open for Business, where the small business owner shares their best practices for growing their company. I'm your host, Marjorie Young. Today's show is about how a private practice physical therapy clinic that specializes in cancer and lymphedema treatments has pivoted during COVID with the help of SCORE. Our guest today is Dennis Ittenbach. He is the owner of H.O.P.E, which is located on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. H.O.P.E stands for Helping Oncology Patients Enjoy Life. Also joining us is Rod Casavant, the chair of the South Carolina Lowcountry SCORE chapter, and Frank Lapari, a business mentor with SCORE. SCORE.org is a national organization that offers small business owners free mentoring. They have over 10,000 certified mentors and over 300 chapters around the country. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marjorie.
So Dennis, when you first learned about this global threat, what was the first thing that you did with your business?
Boy, what a good question. I'd say one of the biggest things that I had to look at was look at the virus, at its core and just at the statistics of it. This was one. I think we were just kind of thinking earlier that this is the only comparable thing we have to this was the Spanish flu, which went for 2 years. Infected millions of people and caused massive deaths. So I knew that this was a virus that was going to require long-term planning, especially because of the patient population that I treat. Being a physical therapy practice, we're a very niche kind of service. The fact that that 80% of my patients were literally all in that at-risk category.
Wow.
So I knew that if action wasn't taken, there's no way that H.O.P.E could survive. And so I think the first thing I did and first thing that I saw was that I needed to make sure that my staff's anxiety was at a minimal level. I made a very conscious effort from the beginning that no matter what I was going to do, I was going to make my staff know that I was going to do everything I could to protect them.
Right.
And I think part of that was being as transparent to them. So, through every process that we went through, I wanted to make sure that they knew what I was doing, why we were doing it. And I think that really helped them kind of unify and buy into a common vision and a common mission. I think that's important.
So what were some specific examples of how to ease their fears?
Well, I mean, that kind of went into the second area, that I looked at, was securing financing, and early on, there was talk about the CARES Act, there was talk about legislation and helping, but, in the process, I first thing I did was go to the bank, look at, could I take a small business loan? Could I take a line of credit? How many months could I survive, if the worst case scenario where I had to shut down for a while, how long could I take care of my staff? And I let them know exactly what those dates were and what those times were. So I think that was one thing that they knew they were going to get a paycheck. They knew that they were going to get some things. And they also knew that they might have to take some sacrifices, and if they did, it was going to be incremental. We were gradually going to have to reduce that. We weren't going to furlough anybody, especially because, they were hearing from other PT clinics in the area where people were getting furloughed, and some clinics were actually shutting down already. So just that peace of mind, I think, was the first key.
So did you reach out to SCORE to have them help you navigate through this COVID process?
Well, that's the beauty of SCORE, is that SCORE is just wonderful in the fact that they were already reaching out to me. I was already getting emails of alerts, of webinars, of resources to contact. They were already there for me, so it was actually tapping into the resources that they were already going. So, and at the same time, my mentor Frank was already sending emails and saying, "Hey, you might want to check this out, or you might want to do that." They were one of the first ones to alert about the PPP and the EIDL grants and loans. So those were tremendous resources that I needed from the very beginning.
So, Rod, I want to ask you a question. You're the chair of SCORE in South Carolina. Can you give everybody watching an overview of what you guys do and who who can use you?
Well, in South Carolina, Marjorie, there's actually 6 chapters, and we're one of the 6, and we're the Lowcountry chapter. We cover predominantly Beaufort County, but also surrounding counties. And we have just over 40 mentors. We're certified business mentors. And as you know, Marjorie, from your involvement with SCORE, it's a pretty amazing organization that's been around, right, since 64. And Frank and our team, we help clients, and we call anybody who approaches us with a business idea or an ongoing business a client. And we help them either start a successful business, or we help them with a specific business issue or challenge or opportunity. And that's what we do. A lot of it is through one-on-one or two-on-one mentoring. So, and a lot of it's Zoom now. We do it over Zoom ever since COVID. But historically, it'd be in a meeting, and then we'd have follow-ups. And it's for the life of your business. That's a SCORE tagline. So we will be involved with businesses for years, and we are on the island and in Bluffton and Beaufort. We've been involved with the same businesses for multiple years, and it's really awesome to see how they grow and develop. Let's just talk about what's going on with COVID. Obviously, none of us saw this coming. We weren't prepared for it. We talk about businesses like Dennis is pivoting and adjusting and in this new world. We as a chapter had to do the same. And Frank's been at the heart of that. We've got a team that formed kind of organically shortly after the EIDL loans were announced. We talked about how do we have a better response with clients. I'll brag on our team with client feedback, and a national survey that just took place. We're the #1 rated chapter in the country in terms of what clients say about us, in terms of how we help them and provide value. We're beyond proud and excited about that. I will tell you, though, what we've not been great at historically is getting to clients really quickly, like within the day. This approach with COVID, we've got a team that we formed about 15 mentors called our Rapid Response Tiger Team, and they're getting to client requests less than 24 hours, in fact, many times same day. So it's really changing our culture, and we have felt that was critically important because many of these situations have been, business owners have been on the edge, right? This has been a survival mode. There's been delays on the loan. As Dennis knows, they've been challenging to get, and they've been slow, and all these things. And now we're going through how do you get forgiveness to turn them into freight. But the short of it is we've adjusted to provide timely help and support, hopefully the same day the client asks for us. And I know that's kind of a long response, but Frank, will you agree? It's where we made some changes that it just kind of altered how we view what is the right kind of response for client requests.
Absolutely. One of the first things that our rapid response team, as we all discussed, it was the speed and responsiveness to clients had to change. Where typically it may take a couple days or 3 days to get back to a client based on how many mentors are available. We knew that we needed a very fast reply time because of the complexity of the CARES Act, the type of questions we were hearing from our clients. We knew that this was going to be a real challenge. So we were very fortunate, though, with the 15 of us dedicating our time. And we knew clients like Dennis were going to need a lot of assistance with the CARES Act and the fast-moving changes that were coming down from the Treasury and the SBA, for example. So we provided a link. We had a link back to the SBA that provide us the information that we needed on all the questions and the answers that we could get back to our clients and help people like Dennis move forward. And at the same time, we were linked up with the state and Tom Davis, understanding what things were occurring there at a state level, for example, in the standard unemployment, as well as the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Act. So those things were all coming about. And as we moved in conversation with each of our clients, we figured out which of the clients needed help. In Dennis's case, I think he acted extremely quick. quickly. His preparation to detail was unbelievable. He put his 6-step plan in place, and I think he was off and running before most of our small businesses were in the Lowcountry.
I find it really fascinating and wonderful that Dennis, before he actually started the business, knew to reach out to SCORE. Tell us a little bit about that, Dennis.
Well, I think it was really interesting because I've been practicing therapy now for 25 years. I've been specialized in working with cancer patients for over 20 years. And during that whole time, it had always been an ongoing frustration that we spend so much money and resources and education for the prevention and treatment of cancer, but there's very little resources and opportunity for those who have incurred the devastating physical effects from it. Being a physical therapist, that was always one of the missions that I've been wanting to always try to pursue. And it was funny because I was thinking about this just, prior to talking, was how I first got involved with SCORE was from a previous SCORE client. I was working with a patient. We just happened to get on the subject that where I'd always wanted to do something like this. She says, well, you need to contact SCORE. And first thing is, what the heck is SCORE? And as she explained it, it was kind of I've always thought about it. I'd kind of been tinkering with the business plan for a number of years. And it was just from that encouragement from another SCORE client that I drove over to the Chamber of Commerce, went to the front desk. There was a SCORE brochure. And next thing you know, I went on the website and hit the button to ask for a mentor. And 24 hours later, I got a phone call from Frank.
Mm-hmm.
So Dennis, how long have you been a mentor with SCORE, and what are some of the big tips and advice that they have helped you along the way, and especially now during COVID?
Was that for Frank or for myself?
For you, Dennis. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Frank and I have been, and we were just talking about, have been know each other now for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so really, Frank is like basically having a partner, a business partner, from the whole beginning, literally from the time that we first met, in how he analyzed, my business plan, as well as having other mentors analyze my business plan to fine tune it. And
so
then,
did you have the business plan? Did SCORE supply you with a template for that, or how did that work?
No, I had actually kind of, as I said, I've been tinkering around with it for a number of years. And it was one that for me personally, it was a very scary risk to open up a practice like this. I'm literally the only private practice oncology and lymphedema physical therapy clinic in the whole Southeast. So wow. This had never really been done before. The only other one I've ever been able to really find is in Denver, Colorado. So to do an experiment like this, I was trying to, I put together a business plan, but I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. And it was really in my interview with Frank that he looked at me and said, Dennis, you have been running your own business now for 10 years. You've just been making somebody else money in the process. And it was those words from Frank that really catapulted every step from that standpoint. And motivated me. And Frank was resourceful as far as, referring me to which banks to go to, which would be the most conducive. Getting that, he advised me, when I was looking for locations as far as leasing and the terms,
all for free.
All for free. And that, as I said, SCORE is literally like having another business partner. SCORE right now is, and I appreciate the compliment, that it was given to me about being proactive, during this COVID crisis. But part of my proactiveness was because of the resources that I know I get from SCORE. It's nice that, yes, I'm doing this, this, and this, but then I see it confirmed and solidified with what else is going on and what advices I'm getting, to allow me to tweak it and take advantage of it even more so. It's always one of those things where you can either make change, I should say is change is the only constant in business. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those things where you can either react to change or you can be the person to make the change. SCORE allows me to make the change.
Marjorie, I think Dennis is being a bit modest. He came to SCORE with no doubt the best business plan that I've seen from a startup business.
Wow.
And I knew right away in assessing his skill set that it was a no-brainer for him to proceed with the opportunity. But his level of preparation for detail got him off to a quick start. And that's what's made him very successful in dealing with COVID-19 at the same point. And he was one of our clients of the year in his second year with us. And he also was the Chamber of Commerce and Hilton Head's new business startup of the year in his second year. So he's got two things, and I'm sure he's working on a third somewhere along the line. But
that's fantastic. Rod, I got a question for you, being the chair. What kind of references are available on the website if a small business owner is watching this? And I mean, are there templates for?
Oh yeah, we have so many tools.
Okay.
It's incredible. It really is. And those, I know I'm saying that, but those are words we hear back. And it doesn't even have to be from clients. You go to score.org, which is the national website, and our local website ties into that, sclowcountry.org. But you will see so many, Dennis mentioned the webinars. There's webinars, there's blogs, there's templates. If you don't know how to do cash flow, I mean, we'd love to support you directly with a mentor, but you can go to our website and it's all for free. And it's really an amazing source of information. And just, I didn't mention it before, the SBA, we're a resource partner of the SBA, and they fund SCORE in a big way. We do a lot of local fundraising, but so we're partners with them. And what they want to see is how many businesses do we help? How many do we help grow, increase revenue? How many jobs are created as a direct result of SCORE's involvement? That's measured every year, and it's big numbers. It's very impressive. Last year, I think it was 130,000 new jobs created from 50,000 businesses that SCORE supported. So Dennis's remarkable success story, and what's really cool to know, it's happening across the country. Because of SCORE support. I will say, when Dennis got the Client of the Year award, and I can remember that evening, it's crystal clear in my memory, because Dennis shared a few comments about how it all came about, and it's truly inspiring. There wasn't a sound in the room, and I heard so many folks say how it touched them that kind of business was started by really an amazing person. Dennis just made it happen with Frank's support.
That's wonderful. Yes, I actually met Dennis through a friend of mine that had that is a client with Dennis. So you're doing it right, Dennis.
Well, thanks.
The word is out, and so people are looking to leaders in the business community. How are you doing this? What other tips can you share with business owners on pivoting during COVID? I'd love to get a little bit deeper into how you're making your clients feel safe by coming in. Like how are you marketing that?
Well, those great questions. I think, the number one thing that we had to do, and this is kind of my first feeling is, I want to make sure from the moment somebody walks in my door, they're not going to look around and walk out feeling that they're not safe. I mean, that had to be the number one priority. So we literally cleaned our facility top to bottom. We actually advertised and educated to all of our physicians and all of our existing patients, that we have a regular cleaning schedule, that we are prepared for any incidental cleaning situations that need to be done. They see water, they see antiseptic wipes, they see cleaning tools, in every place that they go in our facility. We wear masks. We require all of our patients to wear masks. We actually had to temporarily suspend. I also have a not-for-profit side of my business where we provide wellness services for anybody who's been touched by cancer or lymphedema. We had to temporarily cancel those until we could come up with a new strategy, which we just implemented in the last week. But for that, we've limited the number of people who come into our facility. We altered all of our common areas for social distancing. We only allow the patients themselves into the building, not their caregivers or spouses have to wait out in the car. We now are, all of our staff has been tested with the antibody IgG test, and we're actually testing twice a month. So we're doing bi-weekly testing of all of our staff to make sure that they are all absolutely safe, and COVID free.
So Dennis, how specifically, like, where did you put that message out? Did you buy advertisements? Did you do it on social media? Like, specifically, where did you do that?
We have used our fax machine, to our physicians.
Wow.
We old-fashioned fax machines. We have personally called, our patients that, because when this first hit, stay-at-home orders, we probably had 70% of our patients cancel. So we literally called them and personally told them what we were doing to make them feel safe.
That's a great.
I'd say about 70% of those patients actually changed and came back to us. We went on Facebook, and posted literally every step that we've done to make them feel safe. We actually have sent out e-blasts to all of our patients of what we're doing. So I think it's not. I mean, my business is really a lot of word of mouth to begin with. We've never really had to do a lot of advertising, but it doesn't mean we don't try to get the word out and let people know. So, and that's I think the best compliment we had was we've had patients who are literally in active chemotherapy say this is the only place they feel safe to come. And that's the message that we wanted to make sure that was the case. And I think that's really for any new business, or I shouldn't say new business, but any existing business right now. The biggest fear is, walking into some place, and when you walk in and you see, other staff. I mean, you see the employees not, social distancing. You see your employees not wearing masks or making that effort to protect them. You run the risk of that person turning around and walking out your door.
Absolutely. It's part of marketing now. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
And
Have you gotten to the point where you're going to like print your name on the masks?
Well, we actually created neck gaiters. We actually have now the neck gaiters with our logo and stay safe and stay healthy on that we're giving away to our patients.
Are they the ones that pull up?
Yep, the ones that pull up. So you're actually going to see, we're actually going to use that and possibly face masks with our logo on it, saying we're staying safe and staying healthy. So you're right. I mean, you can actually, if you take advantage of it and create the change, we all have to wear PPEs now. So use your PPE as a marketing tool. I mean, and our patients actually love it. They really wanted to wear them. So it's kind of one of those things where take advantage. I shouldn't say take advantage of the situation, but adapt to it. Embrace and I guess embrace what this new normal needs to be.
Absolutely.
I guess if you think about the message is if you accept the new normal, and if you accept that this new normal is going to be long term, and realistically could be 2 years, then adapt to it and make the most of it.
So Frank, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
What do you think Dennis's post-COVID is going to look like? What would he need to be doing now to prepare for post-COVID, whatever that is?
Well, I mean, based on what he's outlined to me in conversations, I think he's got a very complete 6-step plan that talks about how to deal with the ease of the staff anxiety and securing the financing options, which he did. He was ahead of everyone, but I'm glad to hear from him just now that he's now having more of his occurring clients come back. And by the way, I am one of his clients, and I will be coming back. Both my wife and I use H.O.P.E Live Services, and we're one of their biggest supporters and braggers in Indigo Run, where we live. So I can attest the quality of services that we get from H.O.P.E Life. But he really does have a great 6-step plan. I think he will be very successful. The one thing, though, with all businesses, and especially the type of business that Dennis has, We will be evolving. We don't know what it will look like in 3 months or 6 months from now. And there again, we'll work with our clients and try to help and assist them, whatever changes we think that would make them successful and maintain their revenue.
Dennis, can you elaborate a little bit more on the 6-step process that you put together? Is it something that you did, something that you could share, or did you put it together with the help of SCORE?
This was one that I just kind of outlined that Frank mentioned, and I've kind of talked a little bit about it. I mean, one is, easing staff anxiety, is the first step. Securing financing, is an absolute must, that you have to work towards. Preparing your facility, preparing your staff, educating your patients, and then marketing what you're doing. I mean, those are the 6 basic steps that you have to do. Again, you've got to educate your staff. You've got to prepare them to know what is safe. A lot of people just don't understand this virus, and so you've got to make sure that if you've got young staff, they're not going to be as conscious as older staff are. For us, it was absolutely crucial because, again, we worked with, all of those people that are in that at-risk category. No offense, Frank. But we do need to recognize that those are individuals that we have to make sure that we're safe. So in educating my staff and making sure the staff was prepared to educate the patients was just as crucial.
So, Dennis, what would you say to small business owners watching this? What advice would you like to leave with them?
I think the biggest advice I would do is embrace the new normal.
Okay.
More than anything else, embrace the new normal, and make sure your customers feel safe. That's how you're going to grow your business. That's how you're going to grow through this instead of just survive through this. There are opportunities that if you make the adjustments, if you make the change, embrace the changes that you have to make, you can actually thrive beyond survive. And that's
You're a great example.
Well, and then that's what we try to do. I can't endorse SCORE and the assistance that we have with SCORE for what has made me, a success. This has been a challenging time, but at the same token is because I know the resources I have. Again, it's allowed me to really pursue what needed to be done, and really to confirm that the changes that I was making, were supported, and there was support behind it. That what I was thinking and what I was trying to do, I also heard those in some of the webinars that I attended with the SCORE and with the Chamber of Commerce, which SCORE and Chamber of Commerce work absolutely hand in hand with each other.
Beautiful.
There isn't a Chamber of Commerce, webinar that I don't go to that I don't see SCORE mentors there, and vice versa. There isn't a SCORE webinar I've gone to that I haven't seen Chamber members there. So talk about it, a 1-2 punch for success. That's really what we need.
Awesome. So Rod, to the small business owner watching this show, what's your message?
Well, I don't know if I can say it any better than Dennis. I mean, this is our new reality. And I don't, Marjorie, as you mentioned, post-COVID, I don't know if it is post-COVID. We might just be in a COVID world, and we're going to learn as we go.
Yeah.
We're going to make adjustments. We might make some mistakes, but I think one thing for business owners to know is reach out to SCORE. There's no downside to having another set of ears, and it could be a relationship that you use for a long time. And I think these are challenging times, but I think working together, I know it sounds a little cliche, but really working together, and there's a lot of community support, a lot of it during this whole thing. But I think there will be some successes and amazing stories that come out of this. It's hard to predict which ones. I think Dennis's will be one, but I think going forward together and taking advantage of the resources that are there. We are a phone call away, and we're a Zoom call away now. I mean, we'll look forward to when we can be in the same room together with our clients. But I tell you, the value of technology like this we can talk and support a lot of people because you don't have to deal with all the coordination, driving, and everything. So, Dennis, were you going to say something?
Well, I was just going to kind of add that one thing that's always nice to know too is that everything with SCORE is confidential. You know, every conversation you have with SCORE, every thought you have with it, you know, is a confidential type of thing. You know, so for those businesses that might be concerned about reaching out, I can't imagine not having SCORE in my back pocket. I mean, I really can't. I mean, they've been great to me. Obviously, they've helped me in a lot of success that I've had, you know, here. And I agree. I think with, you know, I'm much more confident that I'll be successful because I utilize the services that SCORES offers, you know, and I really, really encourage, take the opportunity. And as you mentioned, it's a free service. You know, it's a free opportunity for a business that if they're struggling, this is the help you could possibly need to not only get through this, but turn out, you know, in a quote post-COVID world, really coming out on top.
Absolutely. So Rod and Frank, and to all the SCORE mentors, please know how grateful the small business community is and the work that you do, the volunteer work that you do. You guys are not paid to do this. It is very much appreciated. And we're all very, very grateful. And Dennis, really smart business move, including SCORE, and best of luck to you. I mean, you have all the tools with you to be successful. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. So, okay, two more things. Dennis, if somebody needs to get in touch with you, how do they?
Well, either through our website, Hope Life, HHI, you know, is .com, you know, is that, or give us a call, 843-715-4146. We'll always be willing to give any type of free assistance. Just so you know that our not-for-profit service, which is the Hope Life Cancer Recovery Fund, we provide free exercise classes, free nutritional education, free massages, you know, free prosthetic education and support, you know, at no cost, you know, to anyone. And it's for anybody who's been touched by cancer. They don't have to be a past patient at all. So we were happy. We just started back up, you know, the exercise classes that we have. We're doing them outside, weather permitting. But that's, you know, one thing that we're very, very proud of, to provide really full wellness services for anybody that's been touched by cancer or one of the chronic impairments, which is lymphedema.
You've got quite a mission. That's God's work. That's wonderful. That's really, really beautiful. Yeah. So, and one more time, Rod, how do people get in touch with SCORE in Hilton Head and Bluffton and in the surrounding areas?
Well, you had it scrolling on your screen for quite a while. So that's a real, there it is. Real easy. You just go to our website, sclowcountry.org, and on our very first page, it has a little button, Find a Mentor. So, and then we'll connect with you, as you heard, as quickly as possible. And Dennis found us by walking into the chamber. We hear it all the time, lots of referrals, but to get lined up with a mentor, just go to our website, and there's the phone number too. So easy peasy, and we'll support you along your dream and your success.
Absolutely. So thank you for being on, and everybody, thank you for watching Open for Business. Take a really big tip, call SCORE now. It is only going to benefit you in the future. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Marjorie.
Thanks, Marjorie.
Bye.